Collision. You see the title. I'm sticking to that title. I'm going to tell you this. Was Collision okay? Yeah, it was fine. Wasn't a bad show. But I'm going to be honest here. I didn't like the ending. I'm being honest here. I didn't like the ending because it was a wasted opportunity. Let's get into this show. What did we get in the very opening? You know what? I'm going to skip that because I'll be left at the end. Alright, first match, semifinal. Powerhouse Hobbs versus Ricky Starks. They did cover some of their history working in Team Taz, which was fine. And I will say this with Kevin Kelly. I'm getting used to him now. Everybody else saying Kevin Kelly is doing a great job. He's doing a wonderful job. Honestly, for me, I don't feel like Kevin Kelly should be the one doing that. I don't. Not because he's bad at it, and I'm being honest here. He's not bad at all. But I don't feel like he's the right person for Collision. I just don't. He's not a bad blow-by-blow commentary. But honestly, he just doesn't feel like he belongs there. He belongs maybe on Dynamite. That's where I think he belongs. I would rather see Taz there with Niles McGuinness than I would rather see Kevin Kelly there. I think he would be better on Dynamite and you throw Taz on Collision. Because even though Taz is good, you got Excalibur there. You got Tony Schiavone there. I'd rather see Kevin Kelly over there. I think he might work pretty well. Because here, I truly believe Taz would be better. Not because Taz is absolutely all around better. It's just that I think he might be better on the second show than the first. The excitement is not as high if Taz was there compared to Kevin Kelly would be there. And there's no knock against Kevin. I just feel like Kevin should be on Dynamite. Now, in the end, with a decent showing, which at least until near the end, when Ricky Starks was supposed to do a tornado DDT off the second turn rope, botched it, and it was so bad. It was so bad, guys. I'm sorry. I love Ricky Starks. When I first saw him, literally in NWA, and I know he was in another place before that, and people might have seen him. The first time I saw him was NWA. I knew Ricky Starks was meant for something. Everybody else didn't. I did. There's been moments you see Ricky is sloppy. Sometimes he gets sloppy, and this is one of those times he slips off the rope. Powerhouse Hobbs got to make it work. And since Ricky slipped on the second turn rope, and Powerhouse Hobbs has to lift him up from there where he was already slipped halfway through the rope already, kind of a third of the way out of the ring, he has to lift him. Powerhouse Hobbs could not do his roll, and it looked bad. I'm sure they're going to say it, but I'm saying it as well. Ricky messed up. He missed his spot. He messed up, and this is one of the problems when you do a lot of high impact and high aerial. When it looks good, it looks great. And when you botch it, your partner, you botch it, your partner has to compensate as much as they can. And if they can't, it makes them look bad as well. But Ricky does win. And am I fine with it? Yeah, I don't mind it. Now, here's where it gets interesting. QT Marshall messed that matchup for him at the end because after that spot that messed up, you see QT Marshall trying to save Powerhouse Hobbs. And Powerhouse Hobbs had to win. He literally did get Ricky and he nailed him good. And he was down for at least a 10 count. But unfortunately, as many people would say, they cannot stand Alicia Edwards. She would not let it go when it came to QT Marshall. In the end, he lost it, and QT apologized multiple times. Even what was her name? Cameron? She had to beg Hobbs not to destroy him because he already did it solo. So now the question is on next Dynamite or Collision, how is QT Marshall going to save his ass? Because Hobbs is done. Let's move on. Julia Hart versus Bambi Hale. That is a name. I don't think I've seen her before. Now, suppose she's a second generation wrestler. Fine. Nothing wrong with that. But here's what gets interesting about how they're pushing Julia Hart. Julia, from the last couple of times I've seen her, she's interesting because she's doing what Rosemary was doing. Right now, she's Courtney Love. And I'm sure people would say, dude, she's not like Rosemary. Yes, she is. She's a more tamer version of Rosemary. She is. From Impact Wrestling. She is. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that kind of leads me, there's something I gotta say. And I know this is AEW. This is not WWE. But I gotta say this here. I'm going to say it. I've heard what not Scott Hall, but Kevin Nash, the partner of Scott Hall, Mr. Reza Ramon, with the toothpick. He says that LA Knight, my boy LA Knight, my boy Eli Drake, originally Eli Drake, yeah. If you look up NWA, you see some of the best work he did next to Impact Wrestling. But he says that he's a bite off of The Rock and he's nothing. So what? I've already heard the Slug Daddy talk about it. I already heard about JD talking about it. I already heard about Just Alex talk about it. But as one of the people who's seen Eli Drake, LA Knight, probably one of the longest, and has been reporting that I'm sure there's maybe one or two other people who have seen LA Knight before this for maybe nearly 10 years, but hasn't really reported much on him. I'm one of the few has reported on him for nearly 10 years. Nearly 10. And I could tell you this. LA Knight is one of the best talkers in the freaking game. I knew it when I first saw him. I knew it all that time in Impact Wrestling TNA, when he finally went to NWA, and now that he got to WWE. I knew he was going to get over, and I heard Just Alex say he doesn't know what the hell to make of LA Knight. He doesn't seem like nothing. And he won over JD, who said that same damn thing. I knew it, I saw it, and that boy is the best. And Kevin Nash is just saying that because he wants to really emphasize, as a veteran, he knows what he's talking about. And he's not acting like a true veteran because he knows most of his gimmick comes from somebody else. So let's move on. I had to do it. I'm sorry. I had to do it. Because look at Powerhouse Hobbs. He's taken a little bit of Hall of Pain and turned it into the Book of Hobbs, which we're not seeing. Hopefully we see more on Collision. Let's move on. And I'm just saying with Julia, her persona is Rosemary. It is obvious. She's acting like Rosemary to a certain extent. She's calm as Rosemary when she needs to. She screams like Rosemary when she needs to. And when she comes out, she sings her own song. She looks good. The question is, where are they going to go with her eventually? They got to do something more than just let her be the handler of the House of Black. And House of Black, Malachi Black, talking about I'll give it to like this. Do I believe Andrade can talk? Yeah. He's talking better than he did before. He's got to talk slowly because, remember, English is not his main language. So he's still learning English. I'm sure he is. He's gotten better at it. And seeing that Andrade is trying to be enticed to the dark side by Malachi Black, trying to bring out the power in him because he stole his mask of his father. I believe it was his father's mask. But the question is, will it work as a face run? Because he's still talking, I'm a businessman. When I put that mask on, before I put the mask on, and when I put it on, it's tradition. Before that, it's business. But when I take it off in the ring, I want to fight. It's alright, but I don't know if he's going to really go. I don't know if he can pull off being a face. He feels more of a heel. And needs a handler. A sexy handler. I'm sorry. This is one of the times I kind of wish that Zelina Vega, Thea, was not there. I kind of wish she was not there in WWE. She was there. She could still be with her husband. If they couldn't pair her up with her husband, at least they should pair him back with a Andrade, because she really needs to be with him, or at least somebody needs to be with him. I'm just saying. All right, the FTR versus Juice and Jay White match. It is an eliminator match, which I hate, but I understand why they do it, because at least it has a name, instead of WWE always saying this is a match they have a chance to win a title shot. At least it's named something, and it's a very unusual match. That's at least what it's called. So I'm alright with it. If FTR wins, no more title shots at them until, I'll give it like this. Did I enjoy the match? Yes, I did. Did I think it lasted a lot longer than it should have? Maybe an extra 5 minutes too long, because I think it could have been shortened by 5 minutes. But knowing that the story was that Bullet Club Gold wanted that shot, and they wouldn't do anything to get it because they don't want to have to wait until FTR lose those titles, it's understandable. And when it was over, you saw that Jay White was done. He was tanked. He had spit coming out of his mouth. He is going, he's exhausted. Now, if he was hamming it up, fine, but I don't think he was. I'm looking forward to the match. But the question's going to be, is this helping the tag division? I don't know. Hopefully it is. Scorpio Sky versus Action Andretti. Not a good match. This was really a re-debuting of a Scorpio Sky. He needed to win here. Action Andretti must not win, and he didn't. But he showed a little bit of respect to Action Andretti after the match. It was not a problem. I was alright with it. I did enjoy it. Now, before we get to the final match that means the most, and I don't like it, we had two things. Willow Nightingale. Willow was hurt due to the fact she had a match on New Japan Pro Strong. She lost her title to Julia of Stardom. She supposedly got hurt. So they postponed the match till next week on Rampage instead of being on... Well, I think they really just decided not to do the match because I don't think Willow was hurt. I could be wrong, but I think Willow wasn't hurt because they knew they needed to have more time with CM Punk and Joe. So they said she was hurt and that she will be ready by Rampage next week, Friday. Why not next week, Saturday? Well, actually they can't because it's supposed to be a final. It's supposed to end there. So they got to do it quickly. Or Wednesday for that matter. I'm just saying, so that's done. Miro. Did I like his part that he talked about his sexy wife that he doesn't have anymore and his God that has forgotten and forsaken him? Admittedly, I'm not feeling it anymore. Guys, he had his chance with the Redeemer. Unless they really do something with him now. Unless they have a title on Collision for him specifically to go after and it stays on Collision. I love Miro. And it looks like they're having Miro stay on Collision, but they got to do something now. They need to do something. He needs to do some matches. He needs to start talking. And he needs to go after a title that is exclusively for Collision. I'm just saying. Finally, the match that you see the title. I'm going to make it clear. The match was very good. CM Punk bit his lip or his tongue. They both tanked each other. You got a very good ending. You got CM Punk getting choked out after Samoa Joe was wanting to shake his hand because Samoa Joe risked his hand out. They shook hands. Samoa Joe put his clutch on. And then you had to have FTR. And then you saw Starks, who is the partner, well, for the next match. Because that will be the finals. That will be the finals for the match. Ricky Starks versus CM Punk. But here's the thing. Which is pissing me off so bad. I am angry. I'm pissed off. You know why? Why did they do this? Why did they have to do this? I understand they want to set up Collision around CM Punk. There's no problem. But did you have to make it about Samoa Joe? did you have to make it about Samoa Joe and CM Punk? Now, they had an automatic story over 18 years in the making of CM Punk going against Samoa Joe, where CM Punk has never beat Joe. Ever. From the time they met each other going to ROH, they never, ever had a scenario where CM Punk beat Joe. Ever. They didn't need to put Samoa Joe in the same bracket as him. They could have put Samoa Joe in another bracket. They could have let Samoa Joe lose. Why did you do this now? And if anybody says, don't worry, the feud isn't over, Joe's going to get him, it means nothing now. You had an automatic feud with a very special story. Just like what happened, guess what? Eddie Kingston. CM Punk. Eddie Kingston has never gained any respect by CM Punk and anybody else. Never. And I don't even think he even managed to beat CM Punk, let alone get respect from him. And they had an entire story last year before CM Punk got hurt. An entire story where the only thing Eddie wanted was respect. And I think to actually beat CM Punk when I believe he's never beat him. Ever. And he still didn't beat him, but it was a story everyone loved that really elevated Eddie. Where everyone still... That motherfucker is so over. You have no idea how over Eddie Kingston is. You could put him into a main title scene and people would want it. Eddie Kingston versus MJF. Take my money, as they say. Take my freaking money. He's that damn over. But here, same thing. CM Punk, Samoa Joe. CM Punk and Samoa Joe headlined ROH when they were literally going under back, 2004, 2005? They did those rounds of matches that are still remembered by people who watched ROH. Practically almost 20 years ago. They know that CM Punk and Samoa Joe were the staples. And one of the things that made CM Punk what he is was his feud with Samoa Joe. And what do we got? What the fuck do we got now? A lost opportunity that CM Punk could have had a story that could have led into the next pay-per-view in Europe. Wembley Stadium. I believe it's Wembley Stadium. They could have done it there. They could have freaking done it there. No. They get it over with now. I don't care if Tony Khan booked this. I don't care if CM Punk booked this. I don't care if whoever booked this. I don't even care if Samoa Joe said, let's do this. They all agreed. I don't fucking care. That was a wasted storyline. A wasted opportunity. And if JD doesn't see it, just Alex doesn't see it, I can't make them see it. But it's what they would have liked. Honestly. They want story. They want more story in AEW. They want story in Collision. There was a fucking story there right there. I'm saying right there. You see I'm angry. It was a waste. But that's me. And I hope you enjoy this. I exercise my demon of rage against CM Punk and Samoa Joe having this match now when they should have had it later at the damn pay-per-view. Hope you enjoy this. Leave a comment. Leave a like. Peace.